Hello, it's Clipper Guy here with the next installment in the July 1st Raise Your Haircut Prices Day conversation. Today's going to be a tough day for some of you because today we got to talk about a little bit of math. We talk about prices, we talk about money, we talk about dollars. Eventually it comes down to math. And what I want to talk about is the classic rule of when to raise your prices. Now, we're calling July 1st Raise Your Haircut Prices Day because we're acknowledging it's just been too long since so many of you have raised your prices. But there's mathematical formulas, constants, long-term formulas in the beauty industry that dictate when and how much to raise your prices. So we do want to talk about that today. The first thing we're going to talk about is 80% occupancy. You need to know your occupancy rate. Your occupancy rate is the question of what percentage of your available appointment spots in your date book every day are actually filled. So, little game, fun with numbers. Let's say you work 10 hours a day. Now, that's a long day, but I can do math with 10, so just play along with me. If you work 10 hours a day and you do 2 haircuts per hour, that's a maximum capacity of 20 haircuts. Now, if you are doing 16 haircuts a day, over that 10-hour period, that is an 80% occupied rate, meaning 80% of your opportunities to cut a head of hair are filled. 20% are available still, but 80% are filled. The standard industry rule has always been at 80% occupancy, you raise your prices by 10%. So if you've been charging $10 for a haircut, again, easy math, probably charge more. But if you've been charging $10 for a haircut, when you reach 6 weeks in a row of 80% occupancy, then it would be time to raise your prices 10%. And here's why. The theory is if you raise your prices 10%, in a perfect world, in an ideal situation, 10% of your customers will quit you. They'll reach their pricing maximum. They will no longer be able to afford or no longer choose to patronize you. They price out of your equation. They move on. Ideally, if you're a salon owner, they move on to another member of your team, but they may move on to a whole other hair salon or barbershop altogether. That's okay. We're playing the system. But the theory is at 80% occupancy, if you raise your prices 10%, in theory, you should lose 10% of your customers. What that does is it creates air in your book. It opens up new opportunities for referrals from your existing customers to fill the new spaces. And if you raise your prices 10% and you lose 10% of your customers, you're making the same amount of money in less time, fewer customers, more air in your book. You've heard the expression, birds of a feather flock together. Top 90% customers have top 90% friends. Bottom 10% customers have bottom 10% friends. You know those folks. They don't tip. They don't buy take-home hair care product. They don't send their friends. Those are the ones you want to lose. Those are the bottom feeders. So it's the industry standard rule. At 80% occupancy, you raise your prices 10%. Now, I know people, I've come across people who've cut hair in the professional beauty industry and the barber business for 30 years. They're not 80% occupied. That's a whole nother video. We can talk about that another time, because if you're only running 30% occupancy, if you're doing 6 haircuts a day, your concern is not, should I raise my prices? Your concern is, what do I got to do to fill my chair? I've got plenty of other advice on that. Conversation for another day. Thanks for watching. Remember to like the video. So important. Like the video. Take just a second. Click it. Comment on the video. Go to my Facebook page, the Clipper Guy Says Facebook page. Download the Raise Your Prices program. Remember the challenge. If I sell 100 at $1.95, I donate it all to the American Red Cross. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.